Suhaila in its military presence in Israel, Gaza, Lebanon, and Syria, that there will be no time limit. What does this mean? It means the goal of permanent occupation. In other words, we can say that Israel has entered a new period in its foreign policy, actually nothing new, but we can say that it has entered a new period with a widening geography in which it has already extended its policy of stealing and occupying land in Palestine for years throughout the Middle East. These are now being expressed so recklessly, so comfortably, by whom? Israel's Defense Minister Katz. He said that, how shall we say, it is a country that has already turned international law upside down, a country that does not recognize international law, that does not care about reactions, and that is encouraged and not stopped in the first place. As such, Katz said, the Israeli army is not a part of both a temporary and a permanent solution. Israel is currently creating a permanent buffer zone in Gaza, likening it to similar zones in Lebanon and Syria. However, some argue that Israel is using the concept of a buffer zone as justification for its occupation of Gaza and its illegal actions. This attempt to legitimize their actions exists because they perceive this land as essential for their security, and the presence of their soldiers reinforces this objective. Unfortunately, despite these intentions, there remain ongoing acts of violence, bringing into question the compliance with international law. Defines the seizure of territory under the name of this buffer zone as occupation. It defines it as a military occupation. So you can call it something else, but this is what is really happening. And more importantly, it did the same in Lebanon. After the clashes with Hezbollah on that blue line, Lebanon is a buffer zone on the border with Israel. Israel has established a so-called buffer zone, and despite the fact that an agreement has been signed with Lebanon, and despite its commitment to withdraw from Lebanon, the backers are still there. Israel is doing the same in Syria. The Golan Heights had already been annexed, and a buffer zone was established there. It went beyond the buffer zone and entered there as well. It makes statements threatening Shara by saying that we are 20 kilometers from Damascus. It says that we will be permanent in Syria. Therefore, Israel has taken over the wars it once fought with Arab countries, and we will give back the territories it occupied through agreements. This is a temporary situation for our security, which is how it did the Sinai Peninsula with Camp David. That's not even on the agenda now. We are seizing territories and we are here to stay. It can announce its discourse to the world in such a comfortable way. Therefore, there is no military force in Syria that can stop Israel in Lebanon. The armies and military forces of the two countries are very weak. Syria has just emerged from a civil war. Its air defense capacity has been weakened by Israel's constant attacks. Israel is even challenging Turkey, which could help Syria by providing military advice and other needs. Such a situation, it is trying to create an agenda of conflict with Turkey as if there is a possibility. Now, as we said, the announcement of permanent occupation in 3 countries was made in such a casual manner. The question now is who will stop Israel? As we already said, Palestine, and not even recognized as a state, not even as a state. Syria is very weak. Lebanon is at its weakest, politically, militarily, and economically. The United States already recognizes the Golan Heights in Syria. With the Trump administration, Israel became the first and only state to recognize Israel as a territory. The Trump administration is constantly giving openings to Israel. From time to time, it signals to recognize even the occupation in the West Bank, even annexation. Therefore, instead of stopping it, Trump is encouraging Netanyahu to, shall we say, further such actions. The European Union and the United Nations are already dysfunctional. As long as there is no one to stop Israel, this is what we are seeing. Israel has another plan. Let me summarize it very briefly. Iran is the mine. After Lebanon, Gaza, and Syria, it has been revealed that Iran is planning to attack Iran's nuclear facilities next month. In today's exclusive report in the New York Times, the role of the United States in the attack on these nuclear facilities was even written and specified in that plan and presented to the Trump administration, according to the newspaper. However, Voices have been raised against this plan in the Trump administration. It is stated that there is no consensus. Considering the close alliance and dependence between Israel and the United States, it is worth pondering if Israel could possibly execute a long-range airstrike even without the use of B-2 bombers, owing to the assistance it receives from the United States. Is close to impossible, very difficult, or will take even more time. But some voices in the Trump administration are reportedly coming to this conclusion. Although Iran's nuclear facilities would ultimately face an attack, the development of their nuclear weapons would be delayed for at least a year or more. This course of action could potentially prevent a disastrous Israeli-Iranian conflict, which bears the weight of an apocalyptic scenario. Right now, this could be even more risky. Trump reportedly rejected this plan and gave priority and chance to these negotiations with Iran, the second round of which is now expected to take place on Saturday in Rome. So, we don't know how true this is, this strategy of showing Iran a carrot and stick in a sense, but we know that Israel continues its activities that destabilize the stability and peace in the region. It continues.